everyone, it's Em with TGSTS. Thank you for tuning in to another episode in Sexy September. In this episode, Mo and I discuss all the archetypes in the 2001 book, The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. Listen in and let us know which of these archetypes you've fallen for. I'm a basketball coach. I played basketball. You got to inbound the ball, right? You're under your basket. You got to inbound the ball. You're not running a play. You have a different play to inbound the ball. Once you're on the court, then you set up and you run your play. But for getting the ball in under your basket, you need to stack on the line. You got to there's different things you have to do to get it in. Once it's in, you can run your play or you can show your skills. But you can't show your skills until you get the ball in. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Hey, Mo, how are you?
Alive. How are you?
Same. Trying to have some coffee.
Glad to hear. Glad to hear. This beautiful cup.
Well, thank you. Walmart, $5.
For real? Wow, that's nice.
Yes. I'd be looking everywhere for cute stuff. I don't care where it comes from.
Same. Dollar store, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree.
The Dollar Tree around here is closing up. So they have stuff
wow.
just like get rid of everything or what liquidation, whatever it's called.
Fun arts and crafts stuff, party stuff.
Yeah. School stuff, kid stuff, crayons, all that kind of stuff. This is not sexy. What are we talking about?
Oh, yeah. Sexy September.
Let's bring it back. Yeah, Sexy September. We got a good topic today.
Yes. Your favorite topic. Let me stop.
It's not my favorite topic, but I think it's valuable information.
Yes. Today we're talking about the art of seduction.
Yes. So this is the art of seduction for people who aren't familiar. Obviously, it's a concept that we talk about on the podcast and stuff, but it stems from a book that was written in 2001 by Robert Greene. And I had a friend in college who was just Miss Hot Girl herself, but she was also just a beautiful person. And she gave it to me for my birthday, The Art of Seduction. And I was like, okay. And I think this is one of Dior's friends, one of my alter ego friends. You know, she gave it to me because I think I was still, shy and lacking confidence in myself.
Yes.
And the book is just like a how-to for how to seduce. So
what is seduction?
Well, I was wondering about that because I think when you think seduction, you think sexual immediately. And while that's the most common, I think so, like to seduce somebody, like, yeah, you try to get them in the bed, like that's seduction. But I think seduction is more just like a manipulation of getting someone to come around to your way of thinking, your way of whatever, and to get with your program. Like I'm trying to seduce you to come be with my program.
Yeah, like
yeah. So you need this for business. You need this for making friendships even. I mean, you don't need this because this is manipulation, but this is kind of how human nature works, I think. It's kind of psychology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Didn't I lent you the book, right? Didn't you read it? I don't know. My copy is gone, so I don't know what happened to it. I'll put a little picture right here.
I have it.
Do you? No, I don't know. Or maybe I lost it in a move, but I was looking for it this week and I couldn't find it. So I'm gonna have to order a new copy because I like the hardback. It's cute. Or a paperback, but I like the actual physical book.
I'm gonna go.
But it's available on audiobook. Well, I'll keep talking. So anyways, so yeah, The Art of Seduction. I watched a little clip by Robert Greene and he talks about the fact that it's seduction is like a language, like any other language, except it's nonverbal. And so it's not really about spit and game and what you can say and all that kind of stuff. It's about nonverbal cues. It's about creating an air of mystery or creating a sense of curiosity in the other person to want to pursue you or find out more about you.
No, I couldn't find it.
Well, I was just saying it's the art of seduction is like a way of creating a curiosity in the other person to come find out more about you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And we always used to joke about the shy geisha, which I don't even know if that's politically correct these days to say.
And it's not even a type on here. It may have been a type in the 2001 version of the book, but it's no longer in the book. So
Yeah,
they may have
probably.
changed it
Yeah, probably
because
not
it's
the.
not PC. Yeah. So, but there are 9 types. He sticks to it. There are 9 types of seduction or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, and we could talk about each one and maybe talk about examples of people because there are people that come to mind when you think of these types of seduction, I guess.
I
I don't
didn't
know.
find that book, but I found this book.
Why men love bitches. That's another. We got to hit that up because that's facts.
Yeah, we should
That's
discuss.
facts.
Why are men romantic at first and then change? Okay.
Because that's their seduction.
Seduction. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a
That's
different form of seduction, this book.
why did I hear Usher in my head all of a sudden? Isn't there a song Seduction?
Sensual. No, that's a.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, that's Usher. I will put a little clip in here. I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's Usher.
insert
I thought that was Snoop
Usher.
Dogg. Sensual,
No.
not sexual erotic.
Oh, that's a different one. No, there's okay. But I'm thinking, are you more rap and I'm more R&B? What is going on here? I don't know. I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have thought that. But Usher, I know this song because I've yes, it's Usher. I'm gonna
You
put
done
it in.
banged it out to it. Okay. All right, let's talk about these archetypes or whatever they're called.
Okay, okay, okay. So the first one is the siren.
Mm.
Um, and we all know this. I mean, hopefully we know. I don't know if we know, but like in literature and stuff, there was sirens that would call to like sailors on ships with their song, right? It's a person who represents like adventure, change. They kind of charm their way into the person's life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's almost theatrical and sensual. So, like the examples that Robert Greene gives is like Cleopatra or Marilyn Monroe. Like you exude
Okay, yeah.
sensuality, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of like a, ooh, what's
Pamela
that about?
Anderson.
Yes, like
Modern
a
can be.
who's sexual
Yeah, I
and
don't really know.
I think it's this is another thing about this book though is I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's some generic stuff that's going to last the test of time, but I also feel like culture changes. You know, maybe we're not looking for that Marilyn Monroe anymore. That's not the siren type. Maybe the siren
Yeah.
type is someone like um Ruby Rose, like somebody who's a little more androgynous or like I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know what it is, but that's a different type. So I'm not even gonna conflate the two. But
Okay.
it's about enticing the other person. So maybe it is the push-up bra and the hair done a certain kind of the hair
Mhm.
flip or whatever people do, and the lipstick and the smoky eye and the give
Yeah.
them something that looks like that's sex. You know, that whole thing that you're working with is sex. So I'm not a siren type.
Same.
I don't get that. Like I that's so awkward. I can't do it. I'm too
I don't. I
weird.
try not to lean on anything physical because that shit, that stuff, goes away. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
But you can play up physical. So
yeah,
I
you
guess
can
that could
play
be the
up,
siren. Yeah.
carry yourself, but
Because you be putting them legs out there, Mo.
I mean, I got legs. I
Yes, you
gotta
do.
walk.
She's got legs. And she knows how to. Okay. Yeah, so that's the siren. What does it say here? They have an instant effect on their partner due to their inherent sex appeal, which lies in their calm, unhurried demeanor and dazzling appearances. So it's mostly just appearances.
Yeah, it's appearances and it gets people hooked because we're animals. Yep.
Hmm. And he says this is a dangerous quality, like a
Mhm.
siren. I mean, they would lure you in and then kill you. So
Yep.
watch out.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
I
what
mean, I don't know.
I think that's the most basic one because I
Yeah.
watch a lot of dating shows and a lot of well, I stopped watching a lot of these YouTube shows, but a lot of them have people who have kids or were in another relationship and they're always asked, like Kendra G's show, she'll ask, why aren't you with your baby mama or why aren't you with your baby daddy? And it's always like, oh, I can't deal with that person, blah, 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 or something like that. It's like they cared about the looks and they didn't think about anything else. And they let these looks ruin their life, not ruin their life, but they let these looks create a
Dictate how they,
relationship
yeah.
that they didn't even want to have. They were just going by looks. And once that ran out, they didn't have anything in common or anything to keep them together. Even the child couldn't keep them together.
Damn. To get that far, that's weird to me. And I don't know if maybe because I feel like you and I are kind of similar in this way. Is like, yeah, you could be cute. I mean, I will find people who aren't traditionally attractive. And
Same.
it's not about being fine. Like there's got to be more from jump. Like you look
Yeah.
cute once I come approach you or talk to you or you approach me. If it's not there, you become
Yeah.
ugly. Like I am no longer
Yeah.
interested.
Disgusting.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's, I mean,
So
there's
what's
got to be
another
more.
type? Yeah. Who has
Um,
more? Like what's another type?
well, I feel like the siren is like a female representation, and so the flip side of that coin is the rake. And if you
Okay.
watch Bridgerton, we hear about that all the time, right? Like that's like
I
the
don't remember.
ultimate seducer. Oh, well, they always called Simon or the
Okay.
Duke of whatever a rake. Any man who's out there just getting, they're
Yeah.
pursuing, they are it says
Like
that
used to
they
be
they
George
catch
Clooney back in the day.
yeah, or they catch their target's fancy or whatever by incessantly pursuing her. Um and it's kind of like a physical presence. It's also an ownership of yeah, like, oh, you sleep around, yeah? And
Mhm.
like it's a player.
We
The
wanted to
rake is a
catch you.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, yes. So it's a player type, and I think for some reason women are drawn to that. Because I think it's one of those, maybe it's an economics thing. It's like scarcity, like everybody wants that and there's only one, so we're all gonna fight for it kind of thing. I don't know.
And
You
then
know?
it's that primal survival of the fittest. People want the most attractive partner
Mm,
to procreate for some reason. We're programmed for that. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why
yeah.
we're programmed that way for some
I think
reason.
to have the strongest genes to pursue to prolong your line or whatever, to
Mhm.
mate with the
But
best.
what do looks have to do with strong gene? Like, that's what I just never
Well,
understood.
your looks, I think, are like strength. One of the things I remember hearing about men look in women is symmetry, because
Yeah.
that demonstrates
All
health.
human faces. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are some physical cues that maybe we don't understand why we like them, but there is
Yeah.
like a historical or like
And I
a
think it's communication
evolutionary.
too, because we had to look a certain way in order to communicate to each other at some point. So it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and I think also the things we find attractive, I mean, if you want to just talk about what we talk about midlife and aging,
Mhm.
what we find attractive or generally attractive is youth, is fertility, and that's kind of part of it. And I think once you start aging out of fertility and become that invisible woman like we've talked about,
Yeah.
you're no longer attractive or pursued because that fertility is what's attractive,
See, I don't
biologically or
believe
whatever.
that because there's a lot of cougars out here. A
Yeah,
lot.
but I think also if you look at the
At a type.
cougars, they're youthful or presenting themselves in a they're older, but they still have a youthful confidence and vitality about them. They're
I
not
don't know.
over
I'm like
there they're
90
not over
dead.
there knitting somewhere. Well, I don't
Uh,
know about that. I mean, I don't know. But but I think traditionally, I'm just gonna say, because obviously there's always other things
yeah.
going on. That's what's attractive is like a
Yeah.
youthful fit on both sides, male and
Hmm.
female, youthful fit,
Yeah.
confident.
Optimal
Yeah,
procreation. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, obviously we're humans and we think past that.
Hmm.
We find other things more attractive.
I mean, a lot of people
So
don't. You'd be surprised. I
oh,
watch Divorce Court and all these shows. It's
oh
like people
Lord, I
get
can't.
married on look.
Some of the stuff I'm like, are you stupid? Like, and I know
Yeah.
that's not like nice to say, but I'm like, where was your brain?
In their pants, looking at somebody's looks. That's caring about looks and not the actual human being. A
Yeah,
holistic approach.
the holistic. Ooh, I like that word, holistic.
Okay, next.
Um, oh, the ideal lover. And
Ooh,
this
what's that?
one, it sounds sexier than it is. It says
Mm.
the ideal lover, as the name suggests, represents a fantasy lover who makes the beloved feel lofty and great.
Ooh, I like that. I
Let's
could be
see.
seduced by that.
Historically, these are usually the most successful seducers.
Mm.
Um, they make themselves irresistible to women, and the way they do it is they represent a fantasy, and
Hmm.
and this is the sick part because this makes me think of Trump. This makes me think of radicalized people who start acting crazy and doing stuff. They find what's missing in your life, and they
Hmm.
offer that to you.
I
Um,
will be your father figure. I have had enough of crime. I don't know what he's saying.
but yeah, so they find what's lacking, and I think this is such an easy way to get your way into a person's psyche is to find out what they're missing and represent what that is because they
Hmm.
want it.
Hmm.
If you didn't, it's the daddy issues.
Hmm.
If you're a woman who has daddy issues and this man comes in financially secure, he's extra affectionate, protective, all
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. that's attractive to you because you never had that. Like,
Yeah.
so there's you find what they're missing and you become that or represent yourself in a way that's going to solve those problems.
Mhm.
And
Gas them up. They
that's
got low self-esteem. Gas
yeah.
'em up.
So this is like the
Feels
ultimate
good.
manipulation. I don't know.
Okay. What's
So
is
this
there a counterpart to that one?
no.
Okay, what's the other one?
So I guess a woman or a man could do that. Great
Yeah,
deal of,
definitely.
just find what's lacking and give it to them. The next one is the dandy. And you laughed at this when we talked about it prior to recording or whatever. The
Yeah, because that's a
dandy. It just sounds
racist.
is it?
I mean, that's one of those tropes, the dandy, like the black guy,
Oh.
like a scarecrow or something. The dan.
Oh. Oh, I don't think that's what they're talking about here, but I mean, I don't
No.
know. I've never heard of that. So the dandy is a kind of seducer who offers the kind of forbidden freedom that most people can only dream about, but never hope to achieve. They're essentially a radical who doesn't conform to tradition and often relies on insolence to attract the opposite sex. So they can be both male or female. Um, and they just kind of represent something that's against norms. It's a non-conforming freedom. And the first person I thought of was Prince. Um,
Mm.
because it shouldn't be sexy, but damn. You know what I mean? Like,
Why shouldn't it be? He's
well, I don't
sexy.
know, but we just
It's
talked about
like 6'9" or
the
something.
traditional stuff, but like his height, he had a more
Dress.
feminine way
Mhm.
of dress. He wore heels. His voice was his voice was beautiful. Um I'm like, "Oh,
Mhm.
but it wasn't traditionally quote unquote masculine,
Yeah.
but it was sexy."
Hmm.
And so that's the dandy.
Sex
It's
appeal, yeah.
yes.
It was
And
that
so he
confidence
gives
in himself too. Like he just had this,
yes.
he knew who he was.
So I think it's and male or female, and it's usually represented in that way. Like we're bucking the norms, and like it could be I can't even think of a female celebrity or
Ruby
somebody
Rose.
who yeah,
I don't know if Ruby, I don't know. But
I do you know what I'm talking about though, right? Ruby Rose,
yeah, from Orange New
Orange is
Black.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. What is it about her? Or
I
I
think
don't
Kamala
know.
Young was cute. Well, anyway, that's not really
But so we get that. I mean, it's yeah, like you're free and you're just who you are and it's sexy. Like
I like
you're
that.
not, yeah, me
What's wrong with
too.
that
You're
one?
not following nothing's wrong. Except it's called the dandy and apparently that's wrong. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. These things also have symbols, and the symbol for the dandy is the orchid. Its shape and color oddly suggests both sexes. So I think that that's kind of like a central characteristic of the dandy is I wonder if it could be a man in touch with his emotions or a woman who's more quote unquote aggressive or maybe like a powerhouse in the workforce, like things that aren't traditionally
A
masculine
dandy
or
is a
feminine.
man who places particular importance on his physical appearance. So that's the regular dandy. But then the
Uh,
black dandyism is okay, he wasn't dressed like a scarecrow, but neo-Victorianism refashioning of a stereotype critiques the history of Western European. Okay, I don't know.
I don't know what all that is, but that's
It's
a
a distinct,
dandy.
highly political effort of challenging. Oh, I misunderstood.
Challenging.
It's challenging stereotypes of Black people, Black race, class,
Mm.
and nationality by reversing servant master concepts.
Oh, so yes, the reversal then is what the dandy means, just in a general sense. Okay, I get that.
Cool. Okay, we got some clarity.
Hey, the natural. Now I've fallen for this one before, and
Mhm.
we were talking before we recorded, and I think of Aladdin
Okay,
when I read this. Okay,
I don't
so the
remember.
natural, he was like poor, and he's
Mhm.
pretty much seduced the princess,
Like
and
Jesus.
he showed her a whole new world of like
Hmm.
fantasy and like freedom and fun and an
Hmm.
escape from adult responsibility, basically, is what it was. And so that's what the natural does. They have a retained
Peter Pan.
childhood traits. Yes,
Yeah.
like freedom. Their innocence equals an irresistibility about them. Not that they're childlike, but just that they're open to the world. Their eyes are open. They are vulnerable. They're spontaneous, and it provides
So
a
they're fun.
contrast to adult life. And so you're like, if you're a serious person and you're like, this sucks, and this person's out here just traveling and
Mhm.
partying and doing, just just being free. Again, it's a
Yeah.
freedom, it looks like. That's attractive. And you want that in your life if you're, tightly wound and stressed out all the time. So, um, and you may feel a need to protect them or care for them
Mhm.
in some way. So I don't know, but I thought of Aladdin because he was just kind of like not strapped down to anything and he was just free to, I
He was
mean, I
just
don't know.
magical. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I don't
far,
know.
these are it sounds like personality types versus manipulation. I guess it tries to teach you how to be those personalities.
Yeah, I guess, or just being aware of what they are
Mhm.
so that you can, I mean, because we talk about it's a game, it's a performance, it's an
Yeah.
act a lot of times. And the thing is,
All
you
the
don't
world is
have
a
to be
stage.
this. You don't have to be this like the rake that we talked about.
Mhm.
They Simon in season 1 of Bridgerton always talked about him as a rake, but at
Mhm.
some point that went away.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And his true self, you find out about his history. His dad treated him like crap. He had a stutter. He
Mhm.
couldn't speak. All the things he had to overcome.
Mhm.
And it's usually a mask of those things to get into people's, pants or whatever. But then when you break the
Yeah.
wall down, like Robert Greene says, this is a way of breaking people's walls down. Once you break the wall
Breaking
down, you
them
get to
all
be who you
down.
are. Yeah, you break a lot of things. But
Mhm.
that's who you get to be, that's when you show them who you really are. And I think this is what was lost in the way that I've been talking about this is it's not changing who you are, it's finding a way to lower people's defenses or
Mhm. Oh, yes.
disinterest in people. And once you've lowered it down, then you give them
Yeah.
because sometimes you can't lead with you because
Stranger
we're
danger.
not interested. We're busy living life. I don't have time to worry about you and your issues and this and that. But if you show me something that makes me go, what is that? I'm gonna go see about it. And once they
So
come
what's
see about it, then
another
you
one?
say this is the coquette, which we've talked about
Oh,
before.
yeah. Let's talk
Um,
about that one. That's a fun one.
this is so basically the coquette is the kind of seducer who leads a person on without offering instant gratification. Um, they delay satisfaction. And it's almost like the breadcrumbing that we talked about like a couple episodes back. Like you kind of give them a little bit and then you kind of pull away. You give them a little, and
Mhm.
this is an ultimate mind fuck, I feel like. Because Robert Greene also says, like in a YouTube or whatever that I saw, he says, one of the things about seduction is you don't want to be overt with it. Like you don't
Mhm.
want to be like aggressive about it because that doesn't lower their defenses. You want to give
Yeah.
them enough so that when you leave, they're still thinking about you. They're still
Mhm.
wondering about who was that girl in the red dress or who was the,
Mhm.
like you're thinking about them. And so I think that's what the coquette does, gives you just a little bit to have you like curious, and then you
Mhm.
go away for a day or two. You don't respond to the text, you don't do anything, and they're like, damn, what is she doing? Is
Oh,
she
I hate the
busy? Is she with
coquette.
somebody
Mhm.
else? Yeah, but that you fall for that, right? Don't you start wondering about that? Okay, how come he hasn't responded to what's he doing? Where is
Yeah,
he?
but that
What's
makes
going
me
on?
like less attracted though.
But then what's your
That
behavior
feels
do
like
though? Your
abuse.
behavior goes, what's going on? And so for a lot of people, male or female, if you don't hear from somebody for a couple days, your first instinct is to text them right away. Hey, like, how do I get back in touch with you? You want
Yeah.
that. And I think that's the purpose of the coquette. As much as we hate it, it
Oh,
works.
deuces. Deuces.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now we know, right? But I think when you were younger or whatever, it was like, what, and you would,
Yeah.
man, the amount of calling and annoying I probably was, damn.
No, I'd just be like, I remember I did that to someone. I didn't hear from him. He had planned a date or he canceled or something, and I didn't hear from him. And I was like, well, I'm not talking to you anymore or something like that. And he said, and this is back, I think, in the email times. I think we met on Plenty of Fish or something like that. And he
Oh, plenty of fish.
he wrote me a whole like paragraph and stuff about how he was working in the film industry and his schedule changed and like I should have given him a chance and all. And I was like, damn, he wasn't playing those games. So it's like he was just
But
living
it
life.
still works. It doesn't even have to be a game, though. This is just a psychological, this is the effect of what these
But it
behaviors
didn't work
do.
because I didn't talk. I dismissed him.
Yeah.
Oh.
But one of the things here it says they create a persona of being unavailable, and this
Hmm.
generates excitement in their audience.
Of
Coquettes are
course,
somewhat
scarcity.
somewhat narcissistic
Yep.
as well and have no qualms in making their victims pursue them relentlessly. They create a sense of insecurity in their targets, and when they reach the brink, they pull them back in and show warmth and attention. So this is so effed up. Like this is
Yeah,
really
that is
playing with
messed up.
people.
That's abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean, if
abusive. I
you're
don't
doing
like
it
that.
intentionally, yeah, that's bad. But I feel
Um,
like this creates those feelings though, even if it's not intentional, like what you just said, like he was really busy. And you were probably thinking like, well, what the, you probably took offense. I mean, I don't know, I'm putting words in, but
I was
like, what do you
offended.
mean? Why aren't you? Yeah. So it created a sense of insecurity in you. And so I guess it depends on how you treat that insecurity. Am I going to pursue
Yeah.
more? Or am I going to say, I don't have time for this,
Yeah.
which is a smart
That's
idea.
the
I
one
don't have time for this.
I don't have time because who wants to feel
Bounce.
that way?
Nobody.
Or especially if my thing is if you have a pattern
Mm,
and it's consistent and then the pattern changes, kind of like this Why Men
yeah.
Love said, um, that's not cute to me. Like I know other people like
It's not
pick
cute.
me, choose me, love me. I'm like,
Love me.
deuce, deuce,
Deuces.
deuce. I'm not dealing with that. But that funny you mentioned that because I think the coquette is. Have you seen that Tom and Jerry
Yes.
thing that's going around? Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
where the cat. I mean, yeah,
With the ring and the girl.
yeah, he's just trying everything, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. You know, she's off with another man, and he's just trying to be somebody else so much that he's depleted his own sense of self in the same
Yeah.
thing. So yeah, Tom and Jerry, and then they end up like trying to kill themselves on the railroad
Oh my
tracks.
gosh. Well, that I
That's
think
dark.
that is dark, but that's human nature. And I
Yeah,
do think I wonder if that person that didn't email you, the Plenty of Fish person you were talking about didn't email you, um, if he got back to you sooner,
I would
you
be
would have been
married by
pulled
now.
back. Yeah, you would have been pulled back in. So I think there's a time frame and knowing your quote unquote target and
Mhm.
knowing how long you can push that out. And there's also it's almost like an abusive thing. Like I beat you, but now I'm gonna shower you with gifts and love you.
Yeah,
And I see
I
that.
feel like
I see that in a lot of places. Like I read those
yeah,
smutty books,
yeah,
and one of them is the S&M stuff. And like, so I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna do, and it's sexual and it's consensual. But then afterwards, there's aftercare, and I'm gonna
yeah.
love on you and be sweet to you, and I'm gonna feed you, and I'm gonna give you water, and I'm gonna put salve on your owies and stuff that I did to you. Like there's I'm gonna hurt you, but I'm gonna take care of it after. So
I
this
feel
is
like
the
it's pathological. There's something wrong
yeah,
with that.
yeah. I mean, but
And for me, I know for me, I'm like, that sounds too similar to childhood. I ain't trying like that. I ain't trying to be beaten, loved, and beaten. Like, nobody wants that. I mean, people do, but
if
it's
that's your
just
kink, we're not
crazy because
shaming you. That's just what you do.
I think that it's because of the way we are raised as human beings. We are helpless, and we're not like other animals who just start running out of the womb, or start being more independent out of the
Yeah.
womb. We depend on people to feed us. We can't even eat. We can't even
Damn.
anything for ourselves for a long period of time, which creates a dependence on other people, and
Yeah.
that then at some point transitions from your parents to a partner, and then you're kind of like, I believe, like people say, like people seek that out. So because I can't imagine why you would want to be with someone who's manipulating you and in a negative way and like
Yeah.
breadcrumbing you and all those types of things. It's like you're not good enough. Like you feel like you're not good enough.
But I still think these aren't the people you are with. This is how you get that person, and then you
Mhm.
are able to give them who you really are. I feel like it's I okay. I'm a basketball coach. I played basketball. You got to
Yeah.
inbound the ball, right? You're under your basket. You got to inbound the ball. You're not running a play. You have a different play to inbound the ball. Once you're on the court, then you set up and you run your play. But for getting the ball in under your basket, you need to stack on the line. You got to do, there's different things you have to do to get it in. Once it's in, you can run your play or you can show your skills, but you can't show your skills until you get the ball in. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I
I
understand
don't
what
know.
you're saying.
Yeah. So I mean it's shady, it's manipulative. It's just like faking out and doing things like that, but you you kind of got you got to get there somehow. One of these ways
Yeah.
or just another way or whatever. But you got to get in. You got to get in where you fit in,
That's
you
how
know?
we have all these divorces again, because people pretend and then it's like, ah, gotcha.
But then
So which
they don't take the time. I don't think it's the pretending because I think we all at some point are you go on well, I mean, I don't know any I can't speak for everybody, but I think in the beginning, for the most part, everybody I've encountered, there is a sense of pretending.
yeah.
The way I act with you is not how I act with somebody I meet first at the PTO at the kids' school. You have
Mhm.
to take some time to get to know me to get the M that Mo gets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't get that right away. But
Oh, I have
so
a guard
so
up
there's
too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I
What's
don't
the
know.
other one? The next one.
Um, well, first, the symbol of the coquette is the shadow. It cannot be grasped. You chase your shadow, it'll flee. So you can't, it's
Shadow
like
self.
a whole
Ooh.
thing. It sounds kind of shady when you do it that way. The next one
Who
is the
are
charmer.
examples of that?
Oh, of the coquette.
Mm.
Andy Warhol. I mean, I don't even know
What? Basquiat?
anything about, yeah, woo! And Empress Josephine Bonaparte. I don't know who those
Okay,
people are.
not
I don't
familiar.
know much. Yeah, the charmer.
Okay.
Uh, and the charmer, they make the target the center of attention. So basically, they seduce you. They don't highlight themselves, but rather, basically, they gas you up. They gas
Mhm.
you up, and you feel real good about it, and you want to keep them around because they keep gassing you up. That's it. They
Yeah.
they feed off of the target's vanity. Like
Hmm.
they want that. So this is like the ultimate in codependency, I think. They look like
Yeah,
the
that's
most
the
codependent
ultimate.
person.
Yep.
Yeah. And their symbol is the mirror. They hold a mirror up to
Yeah.
you to show you how wonderful you are.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So I mean I can't, that's exhausting.
Yeah, I would be like, set something up. Mhm.
And that seems like who does that? Yeah. So you would know automatically a red flag, red flag. Like,
Yep.
why are you up my ass like that? Like, why are
Uh,
you don't even know me? Like the people who are like, you're so beautiful. We've talked about this. They come to you and they're like,
Yeah.
you're so beautiful. You're like, you don't even know me. Like,
Yeah. You're so
so
beautiful, sweetheart. No.
yeah, I know. And like, and that's a secure person wouldn't need that. They wouldn't fall for that because they're like, I already
Yeah.
know this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the charmer. The charismatic, they got the
Ooh.
riz, like the kids say. They're inherently exciting because they come across as self-sufficient, self-driven. They may be
Ooh.
great orators, public figures. An
I like
example
those.
is Elvis Presley, Malcolm X,
Hmm.
people who are just
Yeah, they could
confident.
definitely trick me, those kinds. Yeah. They
Yeah,
would.
visionaries. Obama, probably.
Yeah.
Obama, like leaders, just charismatic. They seduce by creating contradictions within their
Mhm.
personality sometimes. Um,
Ooh.
Power and vulnerability. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now that I said Obama, yeah, he's a president, but he's crying after Sandy Hook, or
Yeah,
he's
fits.
singing. Yeah. Ooh, I'm watching Scandal right now, so we got to talk about that another time. But the
Yeah.
charismatic, and then the last one is the star. They're glamorous. They have a dramatic presence. Obviously, it's just like a celebrity. It's like
Yeah.
Kennedy. Kennedy is the example.
Okay.
JFK. Like you're just larger than life, and
Yeah.
everybody wants that.
Thanks,
Whoever
you.
that was used to be Justin Timberlake. I think some of the younger people thought that of Harry Styles. Like maybe they look at Taylor Swift that way. Like you're the star.
Yeah.
You're Beyonce. Like they
It's a fantasy. Yeah,
fantasy.
a
Yes.
fantasy.
Yeah. Larger than life persona.
That's why these celebrities always getting divorced every 5 seconds.
Because you can't live up to the fantasy.
Mm-mm. They just
Mm-mm.
real ass people trying to make a living, you know?
Poor J Lo. Poor J Lo.
Right? Good, she got that fifth. What they say? She got more
She's
rings than
staying getting
LeBron.
divorced. Oh, that's cold. That's cold. But yeah, so the art of seduction. And I think it is manipulative, but I think it's the way to get your ball on the court. Once you're on the court, you can be
Literally.
you. Yeah, but I think that's the way I see it. And I think I feel better about it now that I found that analogy is I think yeah, it's your way of getting into the game. And then once you're in there, you can show your skill set, show yourself, but you have to get in.
Can we
It's
talk
like
about
double dutch.
can we talk about because we can we talk about the coquette again? Because we didn't talk about the shy geisha. We mentioned it. I don't know if that's politically correct. This is what it was called. And it
Uh-huh.
just to describe a certain way of looking at someone in a flirtation. So you're
Yeah.
out, for instance, you're at a bar or something. You look across the room and you catch eyes with someone. You hold that for about 2 seconds, look away, and then look back at the
Yep.
person.
That's my thing. I am a big
M just
believer. I'm a big believer in eye contact. You can communicate everything you want, whether you're angry, whether you're horny, everything in your eyes. You don't have to say a word. And I think that's the most effective way to communicate. And I think that that's how you catch people. It's also it's part of the coquette because if I look at you and then I look away and then I look, and I kind of like smile or get a little shy, you want to know what's going on. Why is she looking at me like that? What was that? Did, did I see something? You know what I mean? Like, should I come over there and check it out? Um, so I think that's your signal. That's a nonverbal way of saying, hey, I noticed you. and I wanted to go about my business, but damn, I had to look again because wow, you know. And I think that feeds a man's ego. I think it works more on men than women because the fuck, like I don't know, I just think it does. But I think that that shy look, I'm not going to say the thing anymore, but the shy look
Yeah.
works because it signals a
Yeah.
lot.
Bleep that out. I ain't trying to get canceled.
I see. But it does. I think that's, and I think a lot of dating coaches and all that stuff on TikTok, on YouTube, they talk about that. They talk about the eye. That's huge. And
Eye
that's
contact is huge. That's animalistic. Yeah, that's very huge. Huge.
huge.
And
And
I
there's,
start,
and it's
oh, no.
you, but I mean, I'm married. I still do that. I have to
Hmm.
give my husband a certain look and he knows, better get upstairs. You know what I mean? Like it's, there's ways to communicate. Most of your communication is
Yeah,
nonverbal.
90 something percent of communication is nonverbal.
Yeah. So being aware of what you're doing with your body and the looks that you're giving and um I don't know, as a kid, and I see my daughter doing this too, which is kind of funny. As a kid, I used to sit in the bathroom, like
Hmm.
on top of the toilet, you know, to seat down and just look at myself in the mirror and make faces.
Hmm.
I did that for a long time. I mean, till I was 10, 12. Like I would just look at, like, study my face. Like, what is my face? Because I really don't have control. I don't know what my face is doing half the time. And
Yeah.
so for a while, I think I was fascinated and I would just look and do weird things. And I don't know if I'm telling on myself because I'm weird or whatever, but I would look at my face and just try to figure out, like, what does this look like? So I know what
Mhm.
my face is doing if I have intent and I'm trying to
Well, you had
communicate,
that self-awareness young.
I guess. Well, also, I think, I mean, it's a way of hiding. Like, one of my biggest anxieties was opening Christmas presents or birthday presents in front of people.
Mhm.
And I
If you didn't
feel
like
like, well, if you didn't like, I had to learn how to. This is sad. Now that
it.
you had to learn how to put the mask on and and show people what they wanted to see, or to hide what it is that you didn't want them to see. And I think that that could be part of this. I mean, it doesn't sound like a positive trait, but something like to be aware of what your face is doing so you know how to communicate what you want to communicate or hide
Mhm.
what you
That's
don't want
important.
to, like
Yeah.
nerves and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's something I need to work on for sure. I'm
get up
not
in that mirror.
eye contact, and it actually heats me up. Like eye contact
That
just,
could be good though.
yeah, in a negative way though, like
Oh,
burn my heart, you know, like
no.
I feel like I can see through people's souls and things through the eyes. So
And that's
I'm
the power.
getting some feedback.
You got to harness that power because it is. You could see a
Mhm.
lot by looking at somebody's eyes, which is scary. And is a reason a lot of people look away. Like, they don't want you to see it. I think
Yeah, I've noticed that.
there's
I've
a lot
been
of subconscious
practicing.
stuff.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been practicing walking down the street and I'll look at people and they look
Oh, see,
away.
you
Like
got it too. You just did the look. You got it too. So don't front because I saw that right there.
they don't look though. They look away. I'm like, dang, they ain't trying to holler. I'm just kidding. But I've
But
been
that's that
practicing.
wall that
Yeah.
Robert Greene talks about that we have to
Yeah.
break down. Yeah, because people
I'm
don't
gonna
want to.
continue to do it.
We
The
don't
unks,
engage.
the unks, you don't have to look at them. They're gonna always say good
They've
morning,
been
hello.
checking.
They're gonna,
Yes.
but I should practice with them too.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna
Practice
practice.
everywhere and see
Yes,
what works. And then you know
exactly.
that's the look I need to give to the ones I'm actually interested in. So
Hmm.
you know what your face is doing.
Because you know
And
me, I got sunglasses on, headphones on.
yeah, and nobody can see. But that's a nonverbal communication. You're
That's
communicating,
a defense. Yeah.
don't interrupt
Don't
me,
speak
don't
to
talk
me.
to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I'm unapproachable. Yeah.
Mhm.
Cuz that's what I do when I don't want to be bothered. Sunglasses are on, AirPods are in, head is down, or whatever. And
And
that's
people still
communicating
get
something.
mad. Unks still get mad at if you don't speak. Like I didn't
Cuz
even see
that's a
her.
rake. They're like, I'm gonna come for you no matter what.
Right? Is that it? Are there any more?
That's it. There's only 9 types.
Uh
Yeah.
okay, this isn't as bad as I thought. I'm glad we went through it.
Yeah. It's fun. So get the
Hmm.
book. If you guys are curious about it, we can talk about it on the live on YouTube, but get the book. It's The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. It's been around since 2001. It's on Amazon.
Hmm.
Check it out.
Get it. Well,
Yeah.
thanks, Boo. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
use some of
anytime.
these tricks in the real world and I'll report back in the group
Okay,
chat.
please do. Please do. Please do. All right.
All right, peace.
Bye.